Hey guys, Mandy Squires here, and I want to do a story time. Okay, so you know that? I was thinking about that old game, Pong. So this is so old, it's so basic. It just has that lever, and then you have a ball, and then the ball goes... Okay, so here's a powerful metaphor, okay? So the ball is life's events, and the lever is you. Okay, so the ball, which is life events, it keeps coming. And then the lever, this is you, and like basically how you respond to it. And so you might find a sweet spot. And the lever, you're like, I'm not going to move that lever. I'm just going to stay here, do the same thing, the repetition. And at first, that feels safe, right? You're like, okay, I'm just going to stay here. This can also be, you could think of this as like a loop too. And then eventually what was once felt safe, and after a while it's okay. It starts to get stagnant and boring. And then all of a sudden it no longer feels like life anymore. It almost, what was once felt like life feels like death. So then that means, oh, I'm going to have to move this lever to create something different in my life, right? So growth means I'm going to have to move this lever. I can't just be so fixed. I want to bring new life into my life, and I'm going to have to take a little bit, be uncomfortable and take a little bit of risk. You have to move this lever to create something different, right? You need a pattern in disruption. But all of a sudden, you can't seem to figure out, like, you know what you need to do, you are stuck and you don't know why. You don't know why you can't move that lever and do something different. You know what you need to do, but all of a sudden that unconscious material of what it means to you when you move that lever, you need to be able to see what's coming up for you. And so there is this psychologist, his name was Bruce Alexander in the 1970s. He ran the rat experiment. So this rat experiment was that he created an environment, and he didn't really have anything in it, but he put two things of water. So one of the water was just clean, normal water, and then the other water had drugs in it. So he noticed that after a while, the rats went from the normal water into the water, and they would make that choice. And then eventually, after a while, he put fun things in this environment, in the park, like an amusement, like things to do. And then he observed, and what he observed was when these rats actually had something fun to do, that were enjoying their life, they automatically started avoiding the drug-filled water, and they went and turned to the normal water. So what this teaches us is that with something that when they have purpose and fulfillment and fun in their lives, that they turn away from the coping mechanisms, turn away from the drugs. So often what happens, so like we will want to move the lever, but we have unconscious materials coming up, and that unconscious material like means that we have to go into ourselves and go into feelings, and we're often avoiding what we need to do to move that lever. So a lot of times we will turn to, because we're bored and we're scared of what going within, we'll turn to coping mechanisms. And a lot of times those coping mechanisms, it can be drugs, it can be alcohol, it can be shopping, can be gambling, it can be emotional eating, there's social media scrolling. And those are the things that we keep turning to instead of the things we actually want. And the reason that is because there's unconscious material that we just need to get into what those stories are about, like what it means to move that lever. When we want to move that lever, we have to be emotionally regulated. We need help with emotional regulation. We need help with being able to figure out, what is it that I want? Where do I actually want that ball to go? And when I figure out where I want that ball to go, I have to figure out what are the things that are getting in my way that's preventing me from moving that lever from where that ball wants. So that is the beauty of coaching. Like, we actually, if it were that easy, you know what to do. If it were that easy, you would do it already, but you haven't done it. So there's some unconscious material that's coming up, and it's usually, we need each other. We need connection in order to grow. We need co-regulation. So in the rat experiments, the rats actually survived when the environment actually met their needs. Not overstimulation, but actual meaningful engagement. And they needed connection with each other, and they needed something to have their lives feeling fulfilled so that they weren't just feeling stagnant. What's the point to do anything if you don't have that fulfillment? So it's like they needed something. And so that's what coaching does. It helps co-regulate, and it helps you identify and get to know yourself and figure out what are the invisible restraints for you being able to move that lever. Okay, here's an example. Let's use Sarah for an example. Now, Sarah, she would spend her late nights with drinking some alcohol, scrolling on her phone, and basically what she was, the feeling of having to do everything alone. When she hired a coach, she was actually able to see what it was that she was avoiding, and she was avoiding feeling unheard and unfulfilled, which was something she was not giving to herself. She was avoiding hearing what it was she herself actually enjoyed. So through processing her emotion, and she began mindful eating and joyful movement, she then remembered she had this old desire of wanting to learn how to line dance. And so she ended up signing up for line dancing classes. And now she's found joy in every step, reconnecting with herself, reconnecting with her body, and reconnecting with others. And so now she is actually fully alive in the life that she has reclaimed, and she no longer numbs herself out with alcohol and scrolling, and she actually finds that she is so excited to go to bed on time so that she can wake up and enjoy her life. This is the value of coaching. The value of the coaching that I do is to reconnect you with yourself, your body, and to bring yourself back alive again from the deadened places that you didn't even really know were not invigorated. So let's do this. Let's learn what's going to get that lever moving so that you're not just boring, so we can be. That game's a lot more fun, wouldn't you agree?